Stage 1. The click. It's 11:47 p.m. You're at your desk finishing a case report that should have been done 3 hours ago. Your coffee is cold, your eyes are tired, your inbox has 34 unread emails. One of them looks like an internal IT security update. Bureau letterhead, correct formatting, your supervisor's name in the sender field. The subject line says mandatory compliance update, action required before midnight. You have seen 100 emails like this. You click the link without thinking, the page loads. Looks exactly like the Bureau's internal portal. You enter your credentials. It thanks you and redirects you to the actual Bureau homepage. You think nothing of it. You close your laptop. You go home. Behind you, in a server room in a country you have never visited, someone just received your login credentials, your device fingerprint, and a direct tunnel into a classified federal network. You are already compromised. You just don't know it yet. Stage 2. The realization. 3 days later, your access credentials trigger an anomaly alert. Not on your screen. On a monitor in the Bureau's cyber division 2 floors above you. A flag automated. Your login appeared from 2 locations simultaneously, your desk in the building, and an IP address registered to a shell company in Eastern Europe. You don't know this yet. You are eating lunch at your desk reviewing witness statements when your supervisor appears in your doorway. His expression is the specific kind of neutral that only people trained to suppress reaction can produce. He asks you to come upstairs, brings your laptop. The cyber team walks you through it methodically. The email, the fake portal, the credential harvest, the access window that lasted 61 minutes before automated systems detected the anomaly and locked the tunnel. 61 minutes inside a classified network. You sit very still while they explain what 61 minutes means. Stage 3. The containment. Within 4 hours, your access credentials are suspended. Every system you touched in the past 90 days is audited. Every file you opened, every database query you ran, every communication sent from your account. A team of 6 people you have never met is now living inside your digital history looking for anything the intrusion may have reached. You are reassigned to administrative duties pending investigation. Your supervisor explains this carefully. Standard procedure, not punitive. Protective of the investigation's integrity. You nod. You understand procedure. You wrote procedure once. They take your bureau phone, your laptop. Your access badge is recoded to limit your building movement. You sit in a temporary office with a borrowed desktop computer and a view of the parking lot. You have been an agent for 11 years. You have never sat on this side of an investigation before. The feeling is specific, and it does not improve. Stage 4. The investigation. The cyber team finds something on day 9. During the 61-minute intrusion window, 3 classified case files were accessed. Not downloaded, accessed, viewed. The distinction matters technically, but the implication is the same. Someone on the other side of your credentials looked at 3 active investigations. One involves a domestic terrorism financing network. One involves a foreign intelligence asset operating inside a U.S. financial institution. One involves an ongoing wiretap operation that 17 months of work depends on entirely. The cyber team cannot confirm what was copied. Access logs show viewing. Exfiltration detection shows nothing. But exfiltration detection has known gaps, and everyone in the room knows that. You are asked to walk investigators through your recent caseload, which cases you accessed when, why, whether anyone had reason to target you specifically. You answer every question completely. You also start asking your own questions quietly. Because something about the timing of that email doesn't feel random anymore. Stage 5. The suspicion. The internal affairs interview lasts 4 hours. 2 investigators you don't know, a room with no windows. Questions that circle the same territory from different angles. Whether you had contact with foreign nationals recently, whether your finances had changed, whether anyone had approached you with unusual requests in the past year. Standard questions. You know they are standard because you have sat on the other side of this table. But then one question is not standard. They ask about a colleague, someone you have worked with for 6 years. Someone whose name appearing in this context makes no immediate sense. You answer carefully. You worked together. You trusted him. Nothing unusual in the relationship. They thank you and end the session. You walk out and stand in the hallway for a moment longer than necessary. The question about your colleague was not random. Internal Affairs does not ask non-random questions in these interviews. Something larger than a phishing email is happening. You can feel the shape of it without seeing the details yet. Stage 6. The interrogation. Your colleague is placed on administrative leave the following Tuesday. You hear about it through the building's informal channels. No official communication. Just the specific silence that falls over an office when something significant is being deliberately not discussed. You piece it together carefully. The phishing email came from an account that was set up using details only accessible from inside the bureau. Internal account structure, internal naming conventions. Someone with inside knowledge built that email. Your colleague had access to it infrastructure. Had worked a foreign counterintelligence case 2 years ago that ended abruptly without public explanation. Had taken 3 personal trips in the past 18 months to countries that require no particular explanation individually, but form a pattern when placed side by side. You bring your observations to your supervisor. Documented, organized. The way you were trained. He listens without expression. Thanks you. Tells you to focus on your administrative duties. 3 days later, 2 people from a division you cannot identify escort your colleague out of the building. Stage 7, the leak. The story breaks on a Thursday morning, not the full story, a partial story. Enough. A major federal investigation compromised by a network intrusion. An inside source classified case files potentially exposed. An active wiretap operation described in enough detail that the targets would recognize themselves immediately. You read it on your phone in the parking lot before you go inside. The wiretap operation is effectively over 17 months of work. 4 agencies. 31 people involved in ways they will now need to be protected from. Inside the building, the atmosphere is the specific kind of controlled that precedes something significant. People moving with purpose. Conversations stopping when you enter rooms. Your supervisor's door closed in a way it is rarely closed. You understand now that your click was not the beginning of this. It was a door someone needed opened at a specific moment. The phishing email was targeted, timed. Built around knowledge of your schedule, your habits, your tendency to work late on Thursdays. You were chosen. That is worse than being careless. Page 8. The betrayal. Your colleague cooperated with a foreign intelligence service for 22 months. That is what the briefing says. You are included in the briefing because your case intersects with his in ways the investigation needs you to clarify. You sit in a room with people from 3 agencies and listen to 22 months described in precise operational detail. He passed information on 7 active investigations, identified 3 undercover assets, compromised 2 foreign nationals who were cooperating with the Bureau in ways that ended their cooperation permanently. The phishing email was his operation, designed to access your credentials specifically because your current caseload overlapped with files he had already partially exposed. He needed confirmation of details he wasn't certain about. He used you because he trusted you to be careless at 11:47 p.m. after a long day. He was right. You sit with that for a long time after the briefing ends. The room empties around you, you remain seated. Not from shock. From the specific weight of understanding exactly how you were used and knowing that the carelessness was real. Stage 9, the reckoning. Your reinstatement takes 8 months. Full credential restoration, return to active caseload. A formal finding that your actions constituted a security failure without malicious intent. The distinction matters professionally. It does not change what happened. 3 assets whose identities were potentially compromised through the files accessed during the intrusion are relocated. 2 investigations are closed without prosecution because the evidentiary chain is now legally compromised. 1 target walks free because the wiretap evidence cannot be used. Your name appears in the internal investigation report 47 times. Always as victim of the intrusion, never as anything else. That is the official position, and it is accurate. It does not feel like enough. You return to your desk, same building, different floor. Your supervisor gives you a new caseload, fresh cases, no connection to anything touched by the intrusion. You check your email that first morning back. 41 unread messages. You read every sender name twice before opening anything. You will do that for a very long time. Stage 10, the silence. Your colleague receives a sentence of 23 years. You attend 1 day of the trial, you do not testify. Your involvement is documented in evidence, but the prosecution does not need your testimony for the counts they are pursuing. You sit in the gallery for 4 hours and watch someone you worked beside for 6 years. Answer questions in a voice you recognize completely. He looks the same. That is the strangest part. You expected something visible. Some external marker of what he was doing for 22 months, while you worked cases together and ate lunch in the same cafeteria, and trusted his judgment on investigations that mattered. There is no marker. That is the thing they don't prepare you for. You go back to work the next morning. You close 3 cases in the following 4 months. You are good at this job. You have always been good at this job. But something runs underneath everything. Now, a current you cannot turn off: every email, every link, every person who knows your schedule and your habits and your tendency toward carelessness at the end of long days. You clicked a link once. Once was enough to learn what trust actually costs when it is placed in the wrong direction. You don't forget that. You use it instead.